Hi, this is Sherron, coming to you with my second half of insurance with my trusty favorite insurance guy who saved my butt last year getting me homeowners insurance, Jonathan McDonald. So, Jonathan, welcome.
Thank you for having me. How are we doing, everybody?
We're doing really good. So, we're just happy to have you here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, and what you like to do.
My name is Jonathan McDonald. I'm an agent with Atlantic Pacific Insurance. Our agency has been around servicing our clients for about 42 years. We got 3 different locations. Our main mother building is in PGA, and we have another location in Belgrade as well as Stewart. A little bit about myself. I graduated from Florida State University, so I am a Seminole, and I love to golf, and I'm pretty sure most insurance agents would say the same, but most wouldn't say that they're as terrible as I am, but either way, I like to get out there, have some fun anyway, and I just enjoy servicing my clients and making something happen when everything looks like it's not going to. So, put on the cape and do the best that I can, try to service my clients the best that I can and, make friends along the way.
So what I have to say about Jonathan is Jonathan does not give up on you. I had been working with at least 5 or 6 agents trying to get my homeowners policy last year, not being educated enough about what the requirements are, have changed all the time for homeowners insurance in Florida. And when my company dropped me, I did not realize that my roof was 25 years old and no one would give me insurance because of my roof. And then my house was going to cost too much to replace. So Citizens, which is the insurance company down here that's supposed to insure everybody that's not insured, could not insure me because my house was too above the limit of $699 for replacement value. So poor Jonathan kept working with me, kept trying to find ways to get me. So definitely, he's definitely one of those people that did not give up on me. And that is one of the reasons him and I have become such good friends and understanding insurance and making sure that we've talked on and off about different things. So Jonathan, just briefly explain to us a little bit about life insurance, auto insurance, home insurance, about what insurance is and that type of stuff.
Well, in terms of life insurance, I guess us in the business don't really call it life insurance because we call it income protection because you can't really protect somebody's life, So there are a couple different life insurance policies and a couple examples here. You got the term life insurance and whole life insurance. So term life insurance when you're young, you don't really have a lot of assets. Term insurance would be for a specific term, allowing you with very little dollars, as term life insurance is usually one of the cheaper options when compared to the whole life. You get the opportunity to purchase a lot of coverage, in a very specific amount of time. And, most term life insurance policies, like only about 5% of them really pay out because the majority of the people who go the term life insurance route end up outliving the term. And, as long as somebody's saving and investing now, you have assets, and the challenge is the estate issues. So you outlive the term, you have the money, but now you have the estate planning issues. And a lot of people, what they do is the misconception with life insurance is they only get one or the other, term compared to whole. And I would say you would probably want to stack them, even if you're much younger and, new to the whole life insurance scenario here. So whole life insurance, which is more the, an example like permanent life insurance, it goes until age 99. As long as you pay the premium, the policy is going to pay out. So most financial planners, you can speak to this a little bit more, will recommend to have a small amount of whole life insurance to maximize your coverage in a term policy. So a lot of people will stack the whole life and term life and life insurance policies. So like $250,000 for whole life permanent, which is like maybe $60-$75 a month. Don't quote me on that, but that's roughly around the sales estimate there. And then you can back that up with about $2 million in term.
Do you recommend, a lot of young couples who are having children, or a lot of young people, they can't afford the home, the variable or the whole life policies because they're significantly more expensive than the term life policies. And what I was talking about in my previous video is saying that you need coverage. So once you have children, you're the permanent person for them, being responsible for them. So you should have at least term life insurance if you're responsible for minors under the age of 18.
Absolutely. And especially if you have a growing family, what have you, and you got some money coming in and everything, I definitely, at the very minimum, recommend getting a term life policy. And a lot of people, the misconception is life insurance is super expensive, and in a lot of situations it is. But it's worth asking your agent to see if they can drum you up a quote for what a term life insurance policy is, especially if you're young. You should have something in place, because you have these term life insurance are set for a very specific term, which thus the name. So you're going to outlive it, but it's always good to have something in place to protect you and your loved ones in the event of if you don't have any income coming in. So if you're young, it's definitely the opportunity right now to look into asking your agent, seeing if you can get some term life policy quotes in place, because it's a lot less expensive than a lot of people think. So it's worth at least asking the question and getting your agent to give you a little bit more information on it.
Yes, so recommendation is definitely having coverage for whenever you are responsible for someone, you are the breadwinner for those people, so definitely coverage is important. Sometimes life insurance can be used also as a planning tool for estate, like you said, which is something that we're not going to go into today, but that's something that we can probably go into when I talk to our investment person about how life insurance is used, whole life insurance is used as part of estate planning. So let's talk about auto insurance and then finally homeowners insurance.
All right, so a lot of what I'm seeing in the market here is both on the personal lines side of things, so like the personal auto, what have you. So personal auto as well as commercial auto, we're seeing a price increase, so we're seeing rates increase, and I'll be completely honest with you, I'm seeing these price increases for what you would imagine to be no reason. So you got these people coming back and they're saying, all right, why is my auto insurance going up? And then you ask the carrier and they just give you the simple answer of just rates. Rates are just going up. So trying to figure out exactly what it is, the reasoning behind price increase on the auto side of things, you really have to get in touch with your agent to make sure that they get down to the nitty gritty and they speak with the carrier to try to interpret exactly what the raise in the price increase for the rates for auto insurance would be. And me trying to get a definitive answer out of it is like trying to pull teeth. And you speak to a lot of these different carriers, and some of them are affected by the price increases a little bit more than others. So that's another reason why you should have a relationship with your agent so they can explain to you and make sure that they shop the market adequately so that you're not paying what you think you have to get paid or what do you have to be paying. Because just because you have a renewal doesn't mean that you have to pay that. I think it's always worth shopping the market for auto insurance, especially on the personal auto side of things, because you're digging into your own pocket for that kind of situation,
Definitely. And so what I'm hearing from you a lot is, you need to be literate about you need to be financially curious. You need to be curious about what you're talking, whatever it is that you're shopping for. You need to be you have to have an understanding of what's happening, and that has to do with research and being connected with an agent that's willing to educate you on which all trusted advisors should be willing to educate their client on better understanding what they're doing. In the long run, that's better for the client and better for the agent. So let's talk about our next topic, which is homeowners insurance, which is the one that you literally saved my butt on and was the only agent that did not give up on me. So in my first half of insurance is we talked about I talked about our insurance crisis down here in Florida and how homeowners insurance is vastly different depending on what part of the country you're from, you're being insured at, and that type of stuff. So I'm going to give you a little bit more time to talk about this one because it's hot topic number one for me and for a lot of Floridians, especially South Floridians.
Absolutely. So one common misconception that's going around the world at the moment is my home insurance went up. So my agent told me that my roof is too old. So that must be the reason why my insurance is going up. And I know the situation that we came up with, Sherron, when we were dealing with this, that was one of my primary concerns. But I want to make it very clear right now, just because you have a new roof doesn't necessarily mean that your homeowner's premium is going to go down. So what that means is when you have a new roof, that opens up the market for different carriers to assess your risk and possibly write it. So in that kind of situation, it opens up the door for a couple more carriers to pay attention to your risk. And in that situation, you may see a carrier willing to write it that have lower rates compared to another one. So that's where you're going to be seeing the savings. So just because you put a new roof on it does not correlate to a decrease in premium exactly. So you may see a better rate from another carrier, but if you got an old roof, no carrier is going to be looking at it. So you're going to be stuck with whatever carrier is willing to write it. In that situation, you're going to be stuck with whatever the carrier is willing to write it at. So, I know there's been some legislative reforms back in 2021, and Floridians are still seeing a property spike. So the insurance industry is losing billions to all these ridiculous lawsuits from third-party contractors and what have you. So in the first 3 quarters 2 years ago, I know we're going back a little ways, but the industry financial reporting is it estimated property insurance had insured losses of about $1.2 billion. And that's an issue as far as what the property rates are going to be coming to. So you run into situations where a claim would normally pay out like, let's just use a rough number, like $500,000, and then it goes to court, and then you got litigation going on. You have attorneys taking a look at it, and then that $500,000 claim turns into $1 million, $2 million, $1.5 million, somewhere in between. And the insurance carriers, they're not made of money. So they have to pay out a lot of these claims, and then if they pay out the claims, then guess who's got to pay for it? So they start raising your rates. So just as an example, you may have never filed a claim, but your neighbor might have. So when you see those guys going around your neighborhood telling you, oh, let's take an assessment of your roof and we'll file a claim for you and we can get you a new roof and lower your premium, that's where you're seeing a lot of this situation here with a raise in property rates.
So I have a saying, nothing is for free. Either you pay for it now, you pay for it later, your neighbor pays for it, and sometimes you are the neighbor who's paying for your neighbor. And I think that works. That's the story with our insurance, homeowners insurance issues down here in Florida. Number one is the fraudulent claims, which we need to get a handle on. Number two is the actual insurance company. Number three is being aware of, the legislators need to take a closer look at what's happening within the industry and being up to date and understanding what's affecting us. So would you add anything to that? Would you have any comments on what I just said in terms of insurance, homeowners insurance here in Florida?
Yeah, there was a case study done recently. Less than 10% of all U.S. homeowners claims that were open in Florida back in 2019. There was only 10% of all of the U.S. was open in Florida in 2019 as far as homeowners claims were brought about. But Florida had more than 76% of property claim lawsuits in the United States.
Yes.
So, that was for a study done by the National Association of Insurance Commission. So that's not coming from me. That's coming directly from the NAIC. And, between 2013 and 2020, property insurers paid out almost $15 billion in claims. And guess how much of that was actually paid to the consumers? The answer to that is 8. So only 8% of that $15 billion in claims were paid out to the people who actually have these homeowners insurance policies. So I'm sure you're asking, where's the rest of the money? 71% of that $15 billion was paid to attorneys.
Yeah, I believe you. I believe you there. So anyways, we could talk a lot about homeowners insurance. I have passionate views on it, especially down here in Florida. I am going to wait and see when my new roof is on, how much I can get a policy now. So at least maybe I can get an insurance written for me. So that's my goal, is to not have lose years off my life by not having a policy. So my goal is to have a policy. Last but not least, let's talk a little bit about where you are right now in terms of your insurance career. You definitely deal with a lot of commercial things, commercial insurance and stuff like that. Is there anything that you want us to know about that specific field, for some of the business owners out there that might be listening to us, or, in terms of maybe not just commercial insurance, but commercial real estate insurance, anything like that you want to talk to us about?
First and foremost, expanding on the property rates as it pertains to the home insurance, it also pertains to your commercial policies too. So Hurricane Ian was a very big driving force in the results of the property market right now. So there are some estimates going on right now. There's about 47 billion to 60 billion in open property claims due to Hurricane Ian affecting the West Coast there.
Wow.
So it's making it the second largest disaster loss event on record, and that's according to the Washington Post. That being the case, the reinsurance market has taken a serious hit. So the reinsurance market is pretty much insurance for insurance companies. So with 60 billion in open property claims, a lot of these reinsurance markets are becoming insolvent. So a lot of these carriers have to find the money from somewhere. So to give you an example, I had an account last month reach out to me, and they've been with the same carrier for over 7 years, and they were paying about between $7,000 and $10,000 in their property policy, and this was just straight up property. This is just the real property on their business. And they reached out to me, and from 2022 to 2023, they were paying about $11,000. And they brought me the renewal for 23, 24, and it went from that 11,000 to 29,000.
Oh, wow.
So they put a manual rate on the renewal, and a lot of times you look at that and said, all right, well, what would constitute the reasoning for such a price increase? And a lot of times what an agent will tell you is, well, that carrier very clearly either doesn't want to write you anymore, so they give you a ridiculous increase on your renewal, expecting you not to take the renewal. But the situation that we're running into is with the property market the way that it is right now, these carriers, your incumbent carriers, offering you a renewal, and it's outrageous, and they don't expect you to pay it. But then you go to your agent trying to shop a similar coverage with the exact same policy, just shopping apples to apples, and you can't get it.
Right.
So if you had secured a policy back like a couple of years ago when you have wind on it with a reasonable deductible, what have you, and you're getting renewals on it, please contact your agent and see if they can go to the moon and back for you, because a good agent will. And a lot of these markets, the way that they are, they're firming up, and it's becoming an issue. And you're seeing anywhere between 15 to 20% increases on clean accounts not having any claims. So accounts with a little bit more hair on it, which is where we refer to accounts with, previous claims in the past, you're seeing anything between like 50 and 70% increases. So if you have a property policy for your commercial business right now, regardless of when it's coming up, you need to contact your agent immediately so they can give you a little bit more information on the subject matter, because they should be alerting you as for any kind of upcoming property renewals. Because I guarantee you right now, even if you have a clean and green, background and loss history, you're going to see an increase. And you can take that to the bank.
Well, thank you so much. I know we can talk a lot about insurance. Like I said, you and I have had several conversations about it. But thank you so much for giving us an overview of it. Definitely for the South Floridians who are listening to the podcast or watching the YouTube will definitely like all of this information and understand an overall insurance ideas. So, Jonathan, thank you so much for being here and explaining insurance to us. Thank you so much for being there for me and helping me with my insurance dilemma. And the one thing I have to say, which Jonathan is an example of, is that you want to make sure that your agent that you have is educating you, sticking by you, understanding what's happening. So all of the things that I've heard Jonathan say today is all about becoming educated about the type of insurance that you're getting, understanding what's out there, and being able to look around and understand if you're getting your best policy, your best coverage, your best deductible. So you want to be able to be talking to someone who can give you all of that information. So thanks again, Jonathan.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure and an honor. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you. We'll talk soon.
Absolutely. Will do.
So this is Sherron, the Modern Savvy CPA. Please follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and also listen to my podcast on Apple Podcasts or RSS for more information and the continued series on financial literacy. Thank you.